All right, so this is the beginning of the fourth phase of polling out of the 7 phases across the length and breadth of India, and we'll be getting you all the latest updates and a range of different perspectives. Throughout the day, we'll be joined in by a whole host of experts who will be joining us from India and also from abroad. So voting has started in the fourth phase of elections today. 72 constituencies across 9 states are in fact voting today. And polling is being held in 17 seats in Maharashtra. So with this, voting will complete across 48 seats across the length and breadth of Maharashtra. 13 crucial seats are heading for polls today in Rajasthan and also in Uttar Pradesh. 8 in West Bengal, 6 in Madhya Pradesh and Odisha, and 5 seats in Bihar and 3 in Jharkhand. Now, apart from these 72 seats, polling will also be held in Jammu and Kashmir's Anantnag, including which it is a total of 72, where voting is being held in 3 phases due to security reasons. Now, of all the seats going to polls in this phase, the BJP is in power in 44 seats, the Shiv Sena in 9, the Biju Janata Dal and the Trinamool Congress in 6 each. And the Congress, out of the 72, had managed to win just 3 seats last time round. The Lok Janshakti Party, in fact, had won 2. The Samajwadi Party and also the People's Democratic Party had won 1 seat each. Now, well over 79 lakh voters are eligible to cast their ballots in the fourth phase. Fate of 961 candidates, including Union Ministers Giriraj Singh, who, remember, is in fact up against Kanhaiya Kumar in Begusarai. His fate will be decided today. Subhash Bhamre, S.S. Ahluwalia and Babul Supriyo of the BJP, and also former union ministers Salman Khurshid, who is in fact contesting from Farrukhabad. This is again going to be an extremely crucial one. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary of the Congress, even he is in the fray today. Now, almost about 140,000 polling booths have been set up for the smooth conduct of these polls. Now, the fourth phase is extremely significant for the western state of Maharashtra. 17 constituencies in the state are, in fact, voting today, from Nandurbar and Nashik in northern Maharashtra to seats such as Kalyan and Bhiwandi on the outskirts of Mumbai to the crucial seats in the maximum city itself. It's well spread out. So who's likely to emerge as a winner in these 17 seats? This is going to be pretty critical to watch out for. Last time round, the BJP had won 8 of these 17 seats. Shiv Sena had won the other 9. The NDA had blanked the UPAs, that is the Congress NCP combined, in these seats riding on the Modi wave. But this time round, things look a little different. Congress, which got a paltry 2 seats back in 2014, is seeking a revival in the state of Maharashtra. So how has Maharashtra voted in the past? Well, except for 2014, the Congress and the BJP have shared the spoils in the past. Ditto in the case of the regional parties, the Shiv Sena and the NCP. So what, of course, are the key issues? Well, agricultural distress. This, of course, is a huge issue in the state of Maharashtra that has hit several areas, such as in the Marathwada region. Farm crisis was so intense that farmers took several marches from the rural areas to Mumbai in the last 2 years. Low price realizations of farm products and a lack of adequate government support to agricultural sector has in fact led to anger in rural Maharashtra. A lack of jobs. This is another crucial issue that is plaguing all of India, and Maharashtra is no exception. And this, of course, will play out a major role in terms of how the people of India decide in terms of how they will be casting their vote. There's also this issue of anti-incumbency, that is for sure, but Congress looks pretty weak at an organizational level, especially in northern Maharashtra. And this, of course, is a story that repeats for the Congress throughout the length and breadth of India. The BJP has put out a broad and a spectacular network of its organization, but the Congress on the cadre level fails. While rural Maharashtra is hit by rural distress, urban Maharashtra is struggling due to poor infrastructure. Fire accidents, stampede deaths, traffic woes, infrastructure woes all threaten to derail the city that never sleeps. Besides, the NDA is also facing some internal rifts as well, or at least it did until a few weeks back. The Shiv Sena and BJP had traded barbs till a few months ago. Whether the voters in fact forget the bitter squabble is something that could decide the elections. But remember, in the lead up to the elections, the BJP and the Shiv Sena have been together smiling. Now, there's also this X factor of Raj Thackeray, who's in fact come out very vocally accusing the incumbent government of not having done enough for the people. Raj Thackeray's Navnirman Sena could in fact help the UPA as well. So how is the NDA looking in these polls? It is, of course, still the front runner, but it may not be able to blank out the UPA like it did the last time round. Now, it is also crucial that the two parties have a strong presence, and the Shiv Sena and the BJP, of course, will be in pole position today. And it will be interesting to see as to how the voters in urban Maharashtra who've shown an inclination to back the BJP over Congress in the past vote this time round. But the tally is likely to come down for the BJP-RSS combined. Now, the UPA has put up some star candidates too that could work for them in a few seats, but the presence of Prakash Ambedkar's party could actually split the anti-NDA votes, and this could in fact hit the UPA pretty hard. And also our assessment, the NCP and the Congress are likely to improve their tally. They would have to, of course, go up from the paltry 2 that they had got last time round in rural Maharashtra, while the NDA is set to keep urban Maharashtra, albeit with a thin margin. Again, it looks like it's even Stevens at this point of time. Now, to add more perspective to this and as to what this phase of the election actually means in the larger game of elections 2019, we're joined in by Mr. Walter Anderson, who is an author and an American academician and who's actually been following the RSS very closely. Sir, you've also written books on RSS. So let me begin by asking you this. The BJP, for the BJP, the phase 4 of the elections is described as very crucial because the last time round they had won 56 out of the 72 seats that are in fact up for grabs today. Do you think they can repeat what they had done in 2014?
I think your summary was accurate. It's going to be very difficult to repeat that. And I think they realize that it's going to be difficult to repeat that as well. I mean, they had an incredible margin. And to the extent that, there is dissatisfaction with incumbency, it's going to show, in areas where they are voting. But you also mentioned something else, is that they have a very good organization. And added to that is that they have been able to sort of keep their alliances. If one follows, I think almost everyone in India in one way or another did follow the Varanasi, or how to call it, celebration of the Prime Minister prior to his registration to be a candidate there. You had, almost all of the alliance partners were brought together in that event. They were with him in Varanasi, to, I think, underscore the fact that they, that the alliance is working. And unlike the Congress, BJP has been able to hold on to most of its alliance partners, and that's going to help and adds to the point that you made that, it starts out with a very good organization, and added to that, it has, an alliance system that seems to be working, and working in part because they were able to give seats to their potential alliance partners in ways apparently the Congress was not able to do.
I think that's a very significant point that you've actually raised, Mr. Walter Anderson, because what we saw when Prime Minister Narendra Modi was filing his nominations in Varanasi is that he was flanked by all of his alliance partners, while the Mahagathbandhan, the people who are actually talking about an alliance, they seem to have in fact failed in mustering an adequate broad alliance to take on the might of the Modi-Amit Shah network. Do you think this is what is going to decide as to which way the elections actually split in elections 2019 this time round in India?
Well, it's certainly going to help the BJP, both the fact of its organizational structure and the alliance system. Because, for example, in UP, you're going to have a division, the Congress, having separate candidates in the state. And then there was the whole issue of who was going to be the Congress candidate to oppose Prime Minister Modi. I mean, that struck me as a kind of clumsy way to handle the issue in the ways that they did. Then you have in Delhi in 7 seats now. That doesn't seem like an enormous number of seats given the fact it's 543 seats altogether, but Delhi counts, and you're going to have the split vote between the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party because they weren't able to sort of get a coalition to work as well. So, yes, this is going to be very important for the BJP, and it's going all out, particularly this phase, because this is in areas where it both has an organizational structure and where it needs to win. There's one other factor, though, they have to keep up. I think they realize these. I'm told that they know they're going to lose some seats in these areas. They need to make them up 2 other places that are going to the polls. That's in West Bengal and Orissa. And if you look at the number of times that Amit Shah and the Prime Minister have visited these 2 places, I mean, it's several times in each place, because they obviously see this as critically important, to gain seats that they will lose in the Hindi-speaking heartland of India.
I think that's a very interesting point that you've made. And also the other issue that I want to talk to you about, the 4th, 5th, the 6th and the 7th phase of elections, these are extremely critical. The reason why I say this is in the 195 seats that are to vote, the BJP had managed to win 90% of this. This is what had catapulted the BJP in 2014. This is the region that we're talking about, which is described as the Hindi heartland. Do you think the BJP this time round will be able to repeat what they did in 2014, or do you think there's a lot of water that's now flown under the bridge?
Well, there's clearly a lot of water that has flowed under that bridge in 5 years. I mean, they're the government in power, and so their programs are being measured as to whether they, have been effective or not. And they won 90%. I mean, that's an incredibly high number. It'd be very difficult to repeat that number. And there's no sign there's a surge. In fact, one of the problems I think the BJP faces is they were hoping there would be a surge in voting that would reflect, their ability to turn out the voters on their behalf. But if I look at the statistics of the first 3 rounds, they're about the same as they were in 2014. It doesn't seem to be a surge for anybody, but that includes for the BJP as well. And I think they were hoping for that, given the fact that they knew that there would be great challenges in these areas that they had won in 2014. So at least I'm getting the sense they expect some losses, which they hope to make up. And I mean, you hear there people saying, "Oh, we're going to do as well as we did in 2014." I'm not hearing that. I'm hearing we're going to do somewhat, and we won't be as well. But polling statistics indicate, and I just saw the complete list of polling that had been done over the last month, that those polls are right, opinion polls. It shows that the BJP, is either, or the NDA is either at a majority figure or slightly higher or slightly lower, but around the figure, for a majority, whereas the Congress and its allies are only half of that. And that's a considerable difference that one has. Then if you can compare it to the January polls that were taken, the NDA has about 30 more seats in its total than it did in the January polling, whereas the Congress and its allies, the UPA, have about 30 less seats than they did. So something happened over the last few months, and obviously one of the facts that have happened is the incidents in Kashmir and the question of terrorism. While people may not note that as, and the polls show that they always note that, security as the number one issue. But I think it's it's in the mind of many people when they think of that. And, the Indians tend to like a leader who is strong, and the Prime Minister has indicated that, on these kinds of issues, he's going to be firm and strong. And here again, if the opinion polling reveals anything, something has worked to the NDA benefit in the last 3 months.
Absolutely, indeed. That is very, very crucial indeed, Mr. Walter Anderson. Thank you very much indeed for joining us from Virginia and getting us all those insights. This, of course, is an extremely important poll for all the parties concerned. There are big faces that are in the fray, and one of the biggest faces that will be looked out for very closely is the former JNU President Kanhaiya Kumar, who is up against Giriraj Singh of the BJP in Begusarai, and it'll be interesting to see as to which way that poll actually plays out. Now, you can call it a creative poll campaign or mere lethargy, but a Trinamool Congress candidate in West Bengal has used his own statue for election campaigning. A video of West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee's nephew Abhishek Banerjee campaigning in an open jeep as his supporters raise slogans has gone viral on social media, but here is the catch. Now, instead of campaigning himself, the TMC candidate sent his statue to do the needful. So instead of him being present on this little buggy, it was his statue that actually did the rounds to appeal for votes for him. Now, the reason is the scorching summer heat. Well, even the smartest of people could get deceived. With folded hands and garlands around the neck, Abhishek's statue is mounted on a jeep. One almost fails to spot the difference unless one doesn't look very closely. Now, the bizarre video has since gone viral on social media. While few have backed the move, calling it pretty innovative, others have slammed it and have dubbed it as Mamata Banerjee's idea and have dubbed it as extremely lazy on the part of the leader to have sent his statue instead of appearing himself for campaigning. Now, over the past few days, it has been shared and retweeted by even members of the parliament.